experience. So I figure while he can control the left side of the debate, I'll stay right over here on the right, and I'll try to give a voice to some of the younger conservatives out there, too. And when I say conservative, what I really mean to say is someone who just believes in the core founding principles of this country. So here's a shout-out to all the libertarians who might be out there, too, who find themselves under this banner of freedom with us. Yeah. There's a great quote by Thomas Jefferson. Well, actually, there are many great quotes by him. But one of them that really sticks out well to me is, honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Now, if you ask me, that makes a lot of sense. Because after all, you need to be honest with yourself. And if you're an elected official, you got to be honest with the people before you can go out there and start solving problems. So let's be honest when we're talking about the problems that we face, not only as a state, but as a nation. We talk about trying to cut billions of dollars out of a $1 trillion deficit. And the sacred cows of entitlement spending are barely even mentioned. To me, that's not being very honest. So how can we count on any of these officials, both Republican or Democrat, to be wise? It's just like doing your laundry. Every cycle. You got to keep doing your laundry. You got to keep those clothes clean. Same with Washington. Same with your elected officials. You got to keep rotating them out. You got to keep them true to the founding principles. Another great quote by Jefferson that stuck with me that I just heard a couple days ago was that we do not have a government by a majority, but what we do have is a government by the majority who are active. And I think that's very, very plain and simple to understand. If you want to see change in this country, if you want to guide us back to those founding principles, we need to get off our butts and get out there and start letting people know about what's coming down the pike. It is very easy to sit back and hope that somebody else is going to take care of the problem. Well, you know what? I think there's been a bit too many people doing that over the last 30 or 40 years. Now, I can only claim about 20 years of that, so I'm looking at a lot of you out there, okay? I kid, of course. It is great to see so many people out here, especially on a day like this in Hartford. I know driving down here was a bit of a fun trip for me. But we need to get people more involved. We cannot stop now. There's far too much to risk. There's far too much to lose. There's a lot of trouble coming down the pike. We've got a dollar crisis that's brewing. We've got a large correction that's going to have to come if we want any of these freedoms to be intact. You know, a lot of people don't talk about the Federal Reserve. And if you do mention it, you're treated like a conspiracy theorist. But it's very real. It's very much there. And they do control and manage the dollar. Now, in the 1970s, and I'm speaking to I see a fair amount of the crowd here, when we went off the dollar standard, the money supply increased by about 20%. Now, just by a course of booze, who here can attest to the inflation of the 70s? Well, that was about 20% increase in the money supply. As of 2009 alone, since the bailouts and the monetization of debt, meaning printing money, began, our money supply has increased over 120%. Now, any elected official who's not going to stand in front of you and tell you that we have a severe dollar crisis coming and we need to get our fiscal house in order right away, they are lying to you. You need to do the laundry. You need to get them out of there and put someone else in. Now, I hail from the quiet corner of Connecticut. There's a few of us out here. And we can probably share our stories just as well as anybody else about trying to spread this message of liberty to people and trying to wake people up. You know what? It's as simple as just getting people to put their email on an email list. Once you start funneling the information to people, the eyes open up. And once you take that pill of truth, you don't go back to sleep. And we need to try to wake up as many people as we possibly can. In closing, I think it's abundantly clear why we're all here today, and many, many others who couldn't make it, or at least following or anticipating reading in the paper tomorrow about how many people showed up. We're here because we reject that very same notion that our founding fathers rejected hundreds of years ago, that a few intellectual elites can do a better job of managing our lives than we can, from miles and miles away. Well, we're here to say, hell no, you can't. The more they try to centrally plan our lives and centrally plan our economy, the more things get screwed up. And you know what's funny is, in reaction to everything falling down around them, the house of cards being knocked over, they turn around and try to plan more centrally. Now, what was the definition of insanity again? Doing the same thing over and over again? There we are. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out today. Please keep the message of liberty alive. And we will see you all at the voting booth soon enough. Thank you. USA.
I think if that's our youth and that's our future, then we're going to be all right. You know, they say that there isn't anything wrong with America that can't be fixed by what's right with America, and that was very right.